books and how many people you have helped write books?
Okay, so to begin with, during the pandemic, I actually have been writing a lot, and I actually have 5 books coming out this year. It's a lot of books. It's the most I've ever written,
Wow.
and I'm very thankful for this. Um, so what I do is I am a mystery author. And I guess I can start with just kind of telling you a little bit about my personal life and background a little bit. But I live in southeastern Virginia with my husband and our 2 dogs, and we are empty nesters since our daughters are grown and they've moved out of the house, and that gives me more time to write, which is good. But in addition to writing mysteries, I also, as I mentioned, I do work. I work full time for a financial organization for the past 25 years, and I assist executive management to meet business needs. So I've worked for a great organization for a long time. I've been very blessed. I always say I've had 2 things happen in my life that were very fortunate. That is my husband, children, and my job. I've been very lucky and very blessed there, I have to tell you. So another quick note I just want to say about myself is that my husband and I are also hot rodders. We love
Hot rod.
classic cars. Yes, we are hot rodders. We love classic cars, and we attend a lot of car shows. And I've been very fortunate. I saved for years for this car, but I just recently, about maybe 2 months ago, not quite 2 months ago, I bought a red 1955 Thunderbird, which I
Oh
love.
my God.
My
And
father-in-law will love you.
and I love it. And I saved for years for this car, but I am the 5th owner of the car, and I'm actually the first female to own this car. No other
Wow.
female has owned this car. um, the car has been featured in Super Rod magazine. So I'm hoping one day, maybe, that I will write a mystery series with a female protagonist who drives classic cars. Because my stories all deal with female protagonists, strong women running their businesses, and that's my writing right there. I write about strong female women.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who my main characters are in all my books.
Wow.
Today, though, I do want to talk about my writing journey, and I want to talk about Sisters in Crime, which is a writers organization that I have been associated with for many years. I want to talk about how I've mentored and worked with other writers, my books, and of course, what's on the horizon, which I mentioned. I've got 5 books coming out this year, which is a lot, but it's fantastic. So to begin with, when I was a kid, I loved watching detective shows like The Rockford Files, Kojak, Columbo, of course, Sherlock Holmes, Alfred Hitchcock, Perry Mason, and then my all-time favorite, Murder, She Wrote. That is my
Yes.
all-time favorite,
Yes.
Murder, She Wrote. Great series. During that time, I also read every Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys books that I could fit into the basket of my bicycle that I would, as a kid, I would ride to the library. Yes, I was a nerd and I read, and I still read. I've always loved to read. Anything, especially anything mystery and anything that had crime or murder that I could try to solve when I was reading it. And I believe that was actually the start of my love for mysteries, since that's when I also began writing poetry and short mystery fiction. And speaking of Nancy Drew, she actually turned 90 last December. So
Wow.
it's no mystery when why Nancy Drew resonates with generations today, since we've all grown up with her and we're inspired by her. And I can tell you that most mystery writers that I know, and I know a lot of mystery writers because I've had the good fortune to meet so many and work with so many. But most mystery writers will tell you they were inspired by Nancy Drew. Most of them will, female and male, which is awesome.
Yes.
But I did have the great fortune some years ago to purchase some original Nancy Drew books and the Hardy Boys books.
Wow.
I actually found them in like not thrift stores, but sort of like thrift stores that just sold old antique things. They are one of my greatest possessions and collections, being able to find these books. And but I lucked out several years ago getting them. But I do want to say that so as my writing journey continued as an adult, I began taking writing classes and I started attending writers' conferences to develop my craft. Anything you do in life, as you know, to get better at, you have to put the time and effort into it to develop it.
That's right.
For anything. Yes, it is. And so I also discovered the Sisters in Crime organization, which is a diverse crime writing organization dedicated to helping members learn and grow their crime writing skills. The organization supports all genders. We have sisters and misters both. So there are a lot of misters in the organization, even though it is called Sisters in Crime. It originally started as a way to help female crime writers get better reviews because a lot of men authors were getting the reviews, and it was really a way to help female crime writers. And it has just become so much more than that now with all genders. But through Sisters in Crime, I began networking with other mystery writers, and I learned of publishing opportunities. That's when I started submitting my stories for publication. During that time, I also learned through a friend that the Virginian Pilot, it's a local newspaper, was accepting articles for submission. So I began submitting articles to them, which was the start of the newspaper actually publishing my articles for several years. I've had several articles published in the Pilot. So both of these were amazing opportunities, and they gave me invaluable experience toward building my writing career early on. So I was very fortunate to have, this building block, so to say. So in addition, I started the Sisters in Crime Mystery by the Sea chapter about 16 years ago. I want to say it's been about 16 years to help writers network with each other and develop their craft. I've had the great opportunity of mentoring and working with many authors on story structure, creating fictional characters, memorable settings, plot, forensics, and of course, pathways to publication, since I've created and coordinated several successful anthologies that have been published by traditional publishers. And through these anthologies, I've seen many authors get their first writing credit, myself included. So it's been a wonderful thing working with so many authors over the years and seeing them get published. I've also been a reporter at work for many years. As you mentioned, I wrote one of your stories, and numerous articles over the years. When I first became a reporter at work, I actually took on all the fun stuff, like fun things we did, our summer event, our Halloween event, Angel Tree, just all kinds of fun stuff. And as time went on, I told myself, I said, I want to stretch my writing skills a little bit at work. And I started taking on more diverse topics. I actually took on the blackface article a couple years ago when that, that was, a lot with our governor and everything going on. But I had the good fortune of talking to a lot of different people. I'm a white woman writing this article, and I wanted to do it justice. I did. And so I was very fortunate to have people at work guide me on this. I also took on Black History Month for several years. I did those articles, which were great. So this is something that helped me stretch my writing skills as far as business goes. And I
Okay.
loved it. They're my proudest articles, I have to say. They are. And I had help with them too, which was great. But so after writing all these articles, so that just helped me develop my writing craft. And I also blog whenever possible to build my readership. And I post on social media about my writing. So that's another way writers can develop their readership or build their readership and keep developing their writing craft. So the last thing I wanted to discuss, of course, are my books that I mentioned and what's on the horizon this year. And I mentioned during the pandemic, I've been writing a lot. So it's been very therapeutic, I have to say, being at home like everyone else, working from home. I'm very fortunate. I still have kept my job this whole time during the pandemic. And so when I sign off from work, I go straight into writing basically each night.
Wow.
And I'm lucky I can do that because it's just me and my husband here. So currently I am an author in the Virginia's for Mysteries books, volumes 1 and 2, and the mystery series To Fetch a Thief, To Fetch a Scoundrel, and To Fetch a Villain. And this is where canine companions help their owners solve crimes and dig up the truth. My protagonist, Kat Ramsey, she owns the Wolfpack Dog Walkers in Virginia Beach, and she solves crimes with her pups, Cagney and Lacey, who sniff out clues and steal your heart as they unleash villains. I am also an author in 50 Shades of Cabernet. It's wine mysteries that blends a baffling mystery and a glass or more of Cabernet that results in deceit and murder. You can tell I write about murder just on paper. It's just on paper. Another book is Coastal Crimes, Mysteries by the Sea, and that will actually be published in June. That's coming up next month. And this book features 15 stories that includes a vacation destination in the coastal plain of Virginia. It also includes James River, Virginia Beach, and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Readers will take a journey to discover mystery and mayhem with a seaside view. So my story, Riverboat Revenge, features Trish Harper, who sets sail on a riverboat cruise to avenge a fellow passenger who's also a modern-day loan shark to solve the murder of her brother, Robbie. It is actually the first time I've written a revenge mystery, and I loved it. I loved it. It was so much fun. I've never done a revenge mystery before. I loved it. So in around August, the 4th book in the mystery series, To Fetch a Killer, will be released. So this book has 4 fun tales of chaos and murder. All stories include a dog, a murder, and something crazy or chaotic. My story, A New Leash on Death, again features Kat Ramsey and her pups, Cagney and Lacey, who solved the murder of a dead man in Kat's grooming area. So I love writing the mystery series since I'm also an animal lover. And as I mentioned, I have dogs of my own. It is my favorite to write. I love doing this series.
What's the next in book, your head?
I know, I got so much going on. I'm telling you. Just lie
but
there.
They all sound so interesting. I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm sitting here like, I got to get my hands on that. I got to read that.
I'm sitting there painting the picture. I'm
right.
Like, could it be some movie? Can we do a movie? Like, I'm going somewhere else with this. And I tell you, I'm just blown away just listening to you. You have this voice, Teresa, that's do you ever go out and read to children or have like a people sitting in a bonfire and they're just reading? Because just listening to you, you're to be one of the first guests we brought in and gave the stage, and not for nothing, I'm speechless. Only because your voice is so intriguing, the way you're telling stories, the way you're speaking about your vision. It is so attractive. And I apologize for interrupting.
It's okay. I appreciate you saying that. It makes me think what you just said, that passion. I'm passionate about my writing. I am. That makes me feel good, you saying that, because I am very passionate about my stories and what I write. So I'll go on. The next book, of course, is Murder by the Glass, and it's Cocktail Mysteries, and that'll be published in September this year. It has 17 well-established mystery authors, and each blends a mystery, a glass, and a murder. And my story is Murder on Tap, and it features Cass Kennedy, and she stumbles upon a rival dead author's body at a writers' conference and is accused of the murder and sets out to clear her name. So I actually kind of took this from a little bit of a true story at a mystery writers' conference that I attend every year. So it was kind of fun blending that in with that in writing. In October, I am going to be in the Sisters in Crime book, Promophobia. That will be published this year. I am a contributing editor of an essay on promoting and marketing your writing in that book, and I was honored to be in that book, so that'll be coming out in October. The third book in the Virginias for Mystery series will be published in November this year. And so the Virginias for Mystery series is set in and around Virginia, and it features Virginia landmarks such as the Poe Museum, Colonial Williamsburg, the Hollywood Cemetery. It covers Virginia wine country, the Cavalier on the Hill, which is where my story is written about, Luray Caverns, the Great Dismal Swamp, just to name a few. So this is a great series about Virginia's rich but deadly landscape. Virginia may be for lovers, except when it's for killers, crooks, and criminals.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
And my story is Kiss, Makeup, and Murder, and it features Honor Randolph. She's the owner of the historic Cavalier Hotel in Virginia Beach, and she discovers the dead body of a prominent hotel guest, and she's accused of the murder. Connor unravels a love triangle, a kiss with a wealthy playboy, and a suspicious family member when trying to solve the mystery. So that's the 5 books I have coming out this year. So lastly, I'd just like to add that anyone who is interested in writing, start your journey now. Look for opportunities, as I mentioned, to network with other writers and learn how to get published. It's a lot of time, effort, and dedication, but it's well worth it once you see your stories in print. And once people buy your books that you don't know. I mean, of course, your family members buying your books is great. But when you hear from people you don't know who buys your books, that's the best feeling in the world.
That's the best feeling. Yes, yes.
And I also participate in a lot of book signings. It's just a way to continue building my readership and networking with people who love mysteries. And I just want to thank y'all for letting me, giving me this opportunity tonight. You guys have a great podcast, and I appreciate you letting me join. It's been really fun to do this. Real fun.
Thank you.
Thank you
so where can
much.
people find you if they want to get some advice and some mentorship, and if there's a service, or before we let you go, the stage is yours again in this portion. Just tell people how they can find you if you want to be found or mentor, like just let people know where they can find you.
So I am on all social media, Teresa Inge, on social media, Facebook, Twitter, everything. They can also find me at www.teresainge.com. I am also with the Sisters in Crime Mysteries by the Sea chapter. They can find us that way. And I always love to talk to writers and new writers as well. because they have so many questions about publishing, as I did. When I first started, I was fortunate to have mentors help me, and I still have people help me to this day. We help each other, we support each other. It's a continual learning and building your craft. So, but yeah, they can find me at teresainge.com. And Mysteries by the Sea, Sisters in Crime, we're in Chesapeake, but we're virtual now, of course, with the pandemic.
Yes.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be looking for you to help me on this new book I'm working on.
Absolutely.
Which we're gonna make some announcements before we get off the air tonight. We got a lot of things we want to share with some people.
And I love y'all's books too. They're very inspiring.
Thank you.
Very inspiring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stage was just blessed by Teresa.
Yes.
Thank you, family. You're a family member when you come on a swag. You are a lifetime family member. Teresa Inge. Thank you. Thank you. In the morning, wake up 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 in the morning. She is amazing. Like,
yes. Her voice was relaxing with amazing grace.
It's us in the morning with the swag in the morning.
Say with amazing grace.
The swag in the morning, swag in the morning, swag in the morning time. Her voice is so, I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting there like, it
was soothing.
Read,
yeah.
She can speak me to a nice resting moment.
Yeah. I mean, she listened to all of the books that, that she was talking about. I mean, as she was speaking, I mean, like you said, she was very calm, and it was very soothing. And I'm like, but this is crime. So it's like the suspense in it, and you building up all this stuff. And I'm in my head like, oh, she
What's
can
in
really.
Her head? Like, she's the titles.
But that is such a dope writer, though. Like the stuff she was talking about. How do you?
So the pandemic was not a curse to her; it was a blessing.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse. To write that many books. And she said 5.
5. People, if you're listening,
5
it's time to get off your hands and get going.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Miss Inge has 5 books getting ready to come out. 5. But listen, she got 5 books. She got all these different stories.
Yeah.
Can't nobody ever say anything about me doing a whole lot of stuff, because to write those books as detailed as she was on the topics that she had going on, something is in her head. I don't think nothing's wrong with her, but I'm just saying she got a lot of stuff in her head.
And I'm gonna talk. Look,
that's a dope writer, though.
I'm saying Teresa. And you know what I like? Teresa snuck in. She was like, only on paper.
Only on paper.
My next question was going to be
only on paper.
Because I was going to be like, I would give her a mystery name, T.I. Like, hey, T.I., listen.
That's what we're going to call it. I like that. I like that. T.I.
T.I. Magnum T.I. Like, do you know, did you kill something when you was growing up? Like, is this something that the kids don't know? Like, and, maybe her children was listening, and I didn't want to put her on the blast. I talked to her, I worked the ball. She'd jab at me. She'd be like, "You put me." I'm like, "Look."
But that is an absolute.
That's what I'm gonna call her, Magnum T.I.
That's an absolute dope. That's a dope writer that can just
She's
write with all of that.
Man.
I mean, I would listen. I was even thinking, right?
Oh boy.
I was thinking, listen, I mean, this is just something that just popped in my head. But as she was reading, right, can you imagine having her like just read inserts of her book, right? Just say Halloween, like it's Halloween, right? She's reading inserts of her book, and you got people that have to go in and they have to try to solve these, or they have to try to think of stuff. Yo, I heard her voice. I saw all of these things going on, and kind of a really, really good event that's getting ready to come out of that. My mind is turning now because her voice was like I can see me now, and
I was sitting there like
I can
Oh
see me in
my
the house
God.
breaking my neck because she has a soothing voice, but her stories are off the hook and crazy. So now you're in the house scared because there is a murderer. We just don't know who it is.
Just for
Oh,
those who
yes.
don't know, me and Lady D do not just interview celebrities, and she's going to be a celebrity to me. She's, we work together, and she's amazing, right? So